Hey there, soulmates. It's your girl, Dr. Melissa, back with another soul-stirring episode of Standing on Business, where it's not just business, it is personal. So today, we're diving deep on this episode. We're going to dive into the heart of what drives us. We're going to dive into what fulfills us and what gives our work and our lives true meaning. Yeah. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the 7-layer process of finding your big why. Now, I know some of you may be thinking, haven't we done this before? And I'll tell you, sometimes when I talk to clients or entrepreneurs and I talk to them about the why, the big why, they'll push back almost immediately and say, I know why I started my business. Help me with something else. That's not my issue. I know exactly why I started my business. But let me tell you, this isn't your average surface level exploration that I'm inviting you on. This is a journey to the very core of who you are and why you started your business in the first place. Let me tell you, I remember for me when I first started my business, just like many people, I thought I knew my why. To me, it was very simple. Why did I want to start a business? I wanted to start a business to make money. I wanted to start a business to be successful. I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to prove myself. But let me tell you, as I grew in my business, and as I faced challenges and setbacks, I realized that those surface level motivations weren't enough to sustain me. You see, they weren't enough to get me out of bed on those really hard days. Those motivations, those surface level whys, weren't enough to keep me going when things got tough. It wasn't until I started to dig deeper, until I started to peel back the layers of my motivations and my desires, that I got to the core and found my true big why. And let me tell you, when you connect to that deep soul level purpose, everything changes. Your business, your work takes on a whole new meaning. Your challenges, they become opportunities for growth. And soulmate, your impact expands in ways that you never imagined. Sounds good, right? So, what is this 7-layer process of finding your big why? It's quite simply a method of self-inquiry that takes you progressively deeper into your motivations, your values, your purpose. It's simply about asking yourself why 7 times. And some people go, why not 3? Why not 5? I don't know. 7 times. 7 times. Trust the process. You ask yourself why 7 times, realizing that each answer is taking you a layer deeper into your purpose. So we're getting beyond the whole surface thing. Let me take you on, give you some examples, right? Let's start with the first layer. So you may ask yourself, and I want you to ask yourself, why do I do what I do? Why did I start my business? Now, your initial answer may be, let's take this one, to make money, right? That's a great start, but it's just surface. Your reason, your initial why may be very noble in your eyes, to help people. And most people, when they say that, they think that's full stop. My why is to help people. I've identified my big why. That's the noble reason. And so that's as far as I need to go. But I'm going to suggest to you that that's a great start, but it's still just the surface. So I want you to take those two examples. Let's keep playing that out. And I want you to ask yourself why again. Why do I want to make money? And your answer may be something like to have financial security. Great answer. Why do I want to help people? And your answer may be to make a difference in the world. Again, very good answers, but we need to go deeper. I want you to keep going. Why do you want financial security? Why do you want to make a difference in the world? You see, with each layer, you're getting closer and closer to your core motivations, your fundamental values, your big why. Because here's what I want you to understand. When your why is big enough, the how is irrelevant. You know, oftentimes in business, we're saying, how can I do this? How can I get the money? How do I get the clients? How do I get the exposure? All of those things. And those are really tangible questions and real concerns and issues that we have in business. But I will tell you, those hows can sometimes stumble people. They get frustrated. I don't know how to get sales. I don't know how to package my programs. I don't know how to get more exposure. I don't know how to get leads. All of those things, right? They get frustrated. And some people say, I can't do it. Some people say, I can't find a solution. The how stumps them. But I'm going to tell you, when that why is big enough, the how is just a matter of which door do I need to knock on? Which window do I need to climb in? Which opportunity do I need to seize? See, when my why is big, failure is not an option. The how can't be the reason why. That cannot be the reason why I don't get it done, because my why is so big. Let me tell you, for me, when I took myself on that journey, because like most people, I had very sexy and, noble whys. The initial whys were good, to make a difference in the world, to have financial security, to tap into who I am. Like, I had a lot of different things that I would have pinned or coined as my why. Well, let me tell you, when I started to dig deeper and deeper and deeper, why did I want financial security? When I got to the last layer, that was because I never ever wanted my children to experience hunger. I never wanted my children to have the shame and guilt of poverty. I never wanted my children to lack options. I never wanted to walk into a room and feel like I didn't have some degree of control over what was going to happen in my life. So financial security for me was about freedom, and it was about choices, and it was about legacy, and it was about my children. So you see, when you get to that kind of why, when that's the why, when I wake up in the morning, if I run into an obstacle or a challenge, it's never big enough to supersede those reasons. If a contract didn't go through, if the economy changes, if there's a downturn in the stock market, if COVID hits and the world stops, it's not big enough to supersede my why, because options for my children, choices for my children, the legacy for my children is far bigger than that. So I pivot I transition. I do what I need to do because I have a really big why. You see what I'm saying? Work on that why, because when you do, it is that why that's going to take you through the troubled waters, the waves and the turns that will happen in business, that will happen. Your why is going to be your saving grace. So, you guys, we're going to take a 30-second break. Don't go anywhere. Well, that's about enough time to go get yourself a cup of water or refresh your coffee or whatever you need to do. But make sure you come back, because on the other side of this break, I'm going to get deeper into how you can find your big why.
Welcome to a unique brew of perspectives. What's the Tea with Gen XYZ is your one-stop spot for a fresh take on today's burning issues. Representing 3 generations, a Gen X icon, a millennial maverick, and a Gen Z trailblazer stir up conversations ranging from social justice to pop culture. They'll bring the heat, spill the honest truth, and find common ground across the years. Expect humor, candor, and perhaps a dash of healthy debate. Enlightening, insightful, and sure to stir the pot. Stay tuned for a stimulating dialogue that bridges the generation gap, one cup at a time.
Okay, welcome back, soulmates. So, in our first segment, we introduced the whole concept of the 7-layer process of finding your big why. But now let's get super pragmatic and let's dig deeper into how to navigate this powerful journey of self-discovery. As you move through the layers that we talked about, you might start to notice that your answers start to shift from external motivations to internal ones. And when that happens, you are on the right track. You'll start to see, as you start to progressively go deeper, that your motivations start to shift from what you want to achieve to who you want to be, from what you want to have to what you want to give. Now, by the time you reach those deeper levels, those deeper layers, you're likely going to encounter some answers that start to resonate not on the head level, but on the soul level. So these might be things like, I want to live in alignment with my values. Something like, I want to fulfill my potential. I want to leave a positive legacy. I want to experience and share love. See how those motivations have started to shift from the external to the internal? That's when you know that you're going deep. Now, here's the key. This is what I want you to remember. Your big why is not just a statement. It is a feeling. When you hit up on your true purpose, your true why, you're going to feel it in your body. You feel it at a cellular level. You know, when I think about my big why, when you get to your big why, it might bring tears to your eyes. It might give you goosebumps. It might fill you with a sense of excitement and that you're rightly aligned. It might make you feel alive, right? Because here's the beautiful thing. Your big why is not something that you create or invent. Your big why is something that you uncover. It's already there at the core of who you are. This process is not about creating or inventing something. It's simply about peeling back the layers so that you can reveal it. Soulmates, here's the thing. Once you've identified your big why, let's talk about what you need to do. So you've identified your big why, and I'm going to tell you now the next step with respect to your business is to start aligning your life and your business with that big why. Now, don't get scared. This doesn't mean that you have to make drastic changes overnight. It's not like you had this epiphany of the big why and then everything changes. No, no, no. It's really about gradually bringing more and more of your actions, your decisions and choices, your products, services, and offerings into alignment with that deeper purpose, with that big why. So this is a gradual process. We're not on a sprint. This is a marathon. We're in it for the long game. Okay? And here's another thing I want you to remember, and that is that your big why is not static. As you grow and evolve, here's the beautiful thing. Your understanding of yourself and of your purpose will deepen and shift. And if it doesn't, something is wrong. If your big why when you were age 20 is completely the same at age 50, I'm going to say to you that that might be more problematic than you would think, because the nuances of your life, your values, your understanding of things do shift and deepen. That's why it's so invaluable for you to revisit this process periodically to ensure that you're always connected to your truest, most current sense of purpose. This is not a one and done thing where I've done it, I identified my big why, check, done. I've clarified my purpose, check, done. No, no, no. This is a process, and you need to revisit this process periodically just to be sure that you're in line and the most authentic that you can be with your current sense of purpose. Sounds good? Okay. Okay, so now it's time for our live Q&A segment, which I love because it's where I get to connect with you directly and to answer your burning questions this week about finding your big why. And so I threw this question out to my community and was flooded with questions. And so we were able to select a few today that we will tackle. Our first question comes from Charlene, my beautiful Charlene. Charlene writes, I've tried to find my purpose before, but I always get stuck. How can I push past my mental blocks to reach those deeper levels? Yeah, $1 million question. Charlene, listen, this is such a common question and a common experience. You see, our minds are incredibly good at protecting us. That's what it's designed to do. And what that means is sometimes our minds will throw up roadblocks when we try to dig deep, right? As soon as we try to go deep, our mind is sort of like, no, 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 that's not what we're going to do. Because we may get to a place that hurts. We may get to a place that is uncomfortable. So our mind is simply trying to protect us. But I'm going to give you a few strategies that might help. First thing, I want you to create a safe, quiet space for this self journey, this exploration. I want you to make sure that you're comfortable. I want you to make sure that you're free of distractions. For me, I like to light a candle and put on some soft jazz to set the mood. But when I'm about to go deep, and I do this on a regular, I set the stage. I set the atmosphere that's conducive for me to do this inner work. Okay. The next thing you might want to try doing, and that works for me, is to try journaling your answers instead of just thinking about them. You know, sometimes the act of writing can help bypass our mental filters, and it can help us to get to the deeper truths. So just write, okay? Next, third, here's a big one. Don't censor yourself. When you're journaling, when you're writing, or even if you're thinking, if you're not a writer and you choose to do this by way of just having that time to think, I want you to acknowledge whatever comes up. If you're writing, write down whatever comes up. even if it seems crazy, silly, or irrelevant. Okay? Brainstorm. Don't censor yourself and say, oh, what does that mean? That's not the time to worry about your grammaticals. Or did you put a comma there? Should it have been a semicolon or a colon? No, just write down whatever comes up. Because listen, often our deepest truths will come out in unexpected ways. Okay? And last, I want you to, and this is a biggie, be patient and compassionate with yourself. Give yourself grace, please. This is deep work, and it will take time. If you hit a block, just take a break and do something nurturing for yourself, but then come back to it with fresh eyes. This is deep work, and I'm going to tell you, it's not for the faint of heart, and most people don't do it because it requires taking on this process and being uncomfortable. But ooh, the dividends if you do it. Whew. Okay? So I just want you to remember that the journey to your big why is just that. It's a journey. So trust the process, Charlene, and trust yourself, because your purpose and your big why is there. It's just waiting to be uncovered. Hope that helped you. Great. Okay, we have time for another question. Let's take this question from Michelle. And Michelle asks, she says, I think I've identified my big why. Yay. But it feels too big and overwhelming. How do I start acting on it without getting paralyzed? Woo! The analysis paralysis. Yes, Michelle. I love this question. I love this question because, first of all, it's super transparent, but it also speaks to the power of discovering your true purpose. You see, when we connect with our big why, it often feels huge and oftentimes scary. It is a venture out of the comfort zone. So that can be incredibly scary. But I want you to know, Michelle, that's a great sign. That's your evidence. That's your evidence that you're embarking on something amazing, right? It means that you've tapped into something that really matters to you. So let me give you some tangible keys. The key is to start small. When something feels huge and scary, the key is to sometimes start small. You don't have to change your entire life or your entire business overnight. And as a matter of fact, I would strongly suggest that you don't try to do that. I want you to think about one small action that you can take today that will align with this purpose and this big why that you've uncovered. Maybe it's having a conversation with someone about your newfound purpose, right? Saying to someone, hey, I've tapped into this deep motivation. Have a conversation. Maybe it's journaling about how you can bring more of your big why into your current work. Maybe it's saying no to something that doesn't align with your purpose and your big why, so that you can make space for something that does. Small steps, small, intentional, calculated actions. That's the key. Now, I want you to remember, Michelle, that living in your purpose, tapping into your big why, is a daily practice. It is not a destination. It's about making choices day by day that bring you into a greater alignment with that big why. So one of the things that I would really urge you to do is to celebrate each small step, each aligned action, right? Because over time, these things will compound into the significant change and the impact that you're looking for. It goes back to that analogy. How do you eat an elephant? Which I don't advise. Doesn't sound appealing, but how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So, small steps. And here's another thing. Don't be afraid to refine and adjust as you go. You see, as you start living in your purpose, you're going to gain more clarity about what it really means to you and how you want to express who you are to the world. So stay open, stay curious, and just trust the process. Trust the unfolding of who you are, because it will happen in layers and over time. Okay? I hope that helped. But congratulations, celebrate yourself for finding and tapping into your big why. That is so awesome, and hopefully gives some of the other viewers some encouragement and hope that it can be done. Okay. Whew. Wow, soulmates. What a profound journey we've been on today. As we wrap up this episode, I want to leave you with a few things. First, I want you to understand that your big why isn't an option if you want to be a successful, purpose-driven entrepreneur. It's not optional, it's essential. Your big why is the foundation of the life and business that truly fulfills you. The life and business that will allow you to make your unique contribution to this world. So, I'm going to encourage you to take the time to go through the 7-layer process. Do it. It'll change your life. I want you to dig deep. I want you to be honest with yourself. I want you to listen to the whispers of your soul. As my mentor says, give your soul the microphone. Get out of your head and get into your heart and soul. And then when you discover your big why, I want you to let it be your guiding light. Let it be your compass. Let it be your reason for getting up every morning and doing the work that you do. Please remember that your purpose isn't about being perfect or having everything figured out. It's simply about being authentic, being fully you, and using your unique gifts in service of something that is greater than you. Your big why, that's your superpower. That's the thing that's going to set you apart. Your big why is what's going to fuel your passion and help you to create the impact that you were created to make. So, embrace it, embody it, and let it infuse every aspect of your life and your business. Soulmates, I want to thank you so much for tuning in to Standing on Business with Dr. Melissa. I hope that today's discussion has ignited a fire within you to embrace your authenticity, prioritize your growth, and infuse your business with purpose. If you want more information about me, and if you're ready to take your business to the next level and align it with your purpose and your big why, I'm going to invite you to join our free community, the My Soul Purpose community. There, you're going to have the opportunity to connect with like-minded entrepreneurs, gain clarity on your purpose and your big why, and discover and develop a roadmap for aligning your business with your authentic self. The community is absolutely free. So, to learn more and to secure your spot, you can join us at community.purposeprofitess.com. I cannot wait to serve and support you there. So join us next week as we dive deeper into the strategies and mindset shifts needed to build a purpose-driven business. Please remember that you are purposeful and you are powerful. I believe in you, and I cannot wait to see the incredible things that you're going to achieve. So until next time, my soulmates, keep standing up, keep standing out, and keep standing on business. Bye for now.